The only possibility is the formation. A formation was sealed within kin. This requires a master array magician to break. Just find the boss. So Zhu Beiwing did not delay in the four directions array, rushing to search for the snake eggs. Swallowing the egg, immediately returned to the capital to prepare for the boss. Make some tea. The task of pouring water, drooping shoulders, press the foot. The exquisite jade feet are not to be touched. Qin was brought into the storage realm. In a white robe, holding a fish painting, I ascended the mountain. The mist rises over the green mountains. Between the stone paths of the mountain fence, birds and beasts. The spring water tinkled. Warriors occasionally weave through the forest, kill the demon beast, or perhaps looking for resources like forest and grass. We're approaching the cliff where the fish painting is located. Suddenly, Zhu Beiwang's body stiffened. Shawl and loose hair, a bone-chilling cold mist seeped in. The scalp feels like it's about to freeze. It's not purely cold and gloomy. It felt as if I were suddenly immersed in the underworld. Let the soul stand for it. This strange feeling. Let Zhu Bei look north. His expression suddenly changed. Da, bedi. A subtle sensation coursed through the body, the sound of blood dripping on bones. He lifted his robe sleeve. The expression darkened instantly. There are red patches in the shape of eyeballs on the arm. The surroundings were filled with a bluish-white substance, wrapped in a pitch-black whirlpool. This kind of eyeball, as dense as a pearl net. The two arms whirl rapidly. Pause. Who cast the evil curse on me? Pause. Zhu Bei looked up with red eyes. Quickly circulate the inner energy. The Kai Sea is shriveled, originally like 100 winters. The true energy flows like a river, has become a nearly dried-up little stream. 8th tier peak cultivation, dropped to the 9th rank. The true energy is still surging at a terrifying speed, absorbed by the vortex. Northern Ming bloodthirsty divine skill. Zhu Beiwing held onto his last hope, channeled the remaining vital energy to the Kaio point. Well, the body felt as if it were being crushed by a mountain peak. The vigorous blood energy gradually diminished. He swallowed the white robe, a handsome face, faintly menacing, like a bloodthirsty beast. A pattern resembling a coarse iron chain, pierced through the chest, wrapped the entire body. It feels like being tied up. The eyeball devours the true energy. The chains bind the body. An incredibly sinister curse. If it weren't for practicing the Bei Ming bloodthirsty divine skill, this reverse heaven-defying technique, suffocated to death, vital energy gradually diminishes. Only a wisp moving through the body, fighting against the vortex that devours the eyes. Blood remains, bones resist poison, including curse poison. Now Zhu Beiwang's cultivation level fell to the Kai-refining realm, never reached the point of complete loss of cultivation, immediately returned to break the evil curse. Zhu Beiwang was enduring intense pain. Only one thought remains in my mind. Tai Chu Palace, a resplendent palace. The walls were adorned with tens of thousands of tokens. The token meets a vividly alive phoenix. Some tokens are broken in the center, split in half. The glow of the sunset envelops. A figure in a purple dress appeared in front of the hall. He squinted his emerald eyes. Nail that orange token. A crack appeared in the middle of the token, nearly broke in half. Waste. Fifth Jin Shuang's eyes were cold and eerie. The great hall has lost all warmth. Booming sound, as if a wave of spatial storm. The air in the hall distorted. A surge of crimson light erupted from him, disappeared in an instant. Roll over here. At that moment, upon hearing these words, the swordsman sitting under the tree, The eyes widen suddenly, jump into the river. Who is speaking? Who is it? The swordsman felt a hint of fear, shocked and looking around, shooting through the valley. In the pervasive mountain fog, he saw a white robe. In an instant, he stared in shock, chilling, as if the skull had been lifted. The newcomer had a tall and slender figure, but the hair was blood red, covered in blood and hair, surrounded by a shroud of black mist. The whole person seemed like a hellish demon. "Roll over here." The voice was as cold as a creaking wood. The swordsman stood tall. He dared not defy, fearing being completely devoured by the ghostly figure before them. A nearly crawling pace finally got close to this white-robed ghost. "Senior, please do not kill innocents indiscriminately." The swordsman's legs trembled like sifted chaff. With a thud, frightened, he knelt on the ground. He lowered his head, secretly observing each other's strength. In an instant, they stood up suddenly. "Kai training? You are a Kai training adept. Dare to be reckless in front of my drinking etiquette. It is truly absurd and bizarre." He guessed. The figure in the white robe must have just achieved a breakthrough in Kai training, falling into obsession, threatened by an ant. It's truly a disgrace. "Do you want to die?" The oppressive tone echoed. The righteous swordsman. Why does the Kai refinement stage 7 exert such terrifying pressure? He illuminated with the corner of his eye. This sight nearly scared my soul out of me, although the white-robed figure has blood-red eyes. But his features were exceptionally handsome. He is very familiar with this face. Images of the Kinyan ranking are found everywhere across the Jeju continent. Subelan, a strong and fearless prodigy. Sugonzi, you are magnanimous. Spare Rao Zio's life. The swordsman knelt down again. This time the voice was choked with emotion, a deep-seated fear. The white-robed figure gazed down at him for a few seconds. The cold voice said, "Follow me. If you dare to run away, slaughter your entire family." Kyuel turned and walked away. The swordsman was chilled to the bone. The 4 soldiers were frozen in the cold. "I will slaughter your entire family." The ruthless and merciless Zhu Ilayo absolutely can do it. He wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes. "Get up and follow behind the person in the white robe. Genjin is completely unlucky. Now life and death are unpredictable. It would also burden my parents. Kang Tian, how unfair it is." Zhu Beiweng's expression was grim. Walking towards the cliff in the morning, he gave up returning to Beijing. What if I encounter an enemy on the road? Or perhaps those with ulterior motives? He is currently under a heavy curse. It can't be hidden at all. Can we hold on until we reach the capital? It is also an unknown. We can only take a gamble. Swallow the rattlesnake bullet, blood and bones, and body refining elixirs. Zhu Shakao. If one breaks through to the second layer of the North Ming Shrine, there is a chance to break the curse. But he didn't dare to jump off the cliff, since the boss asked him to go find it. It means there are no venomous snakes in the cave. Otherwise, with his strength, it's impossible under the watch of the spirit beast. Take away the eggs. But there must be other dangers. For example, the toxins from the Gushi cave walls. And there will be monster beasts lurking in the cave. In the current state, blood and broken bones resist the cursed iron chains. Once confronted with the invasion of other toxins, perhaps I can't protect Zhu Beiweng. Sugonzi, where exactly to go? A weeping voice came from behind the swordsman. He became increasingly fearful. Zulu talks about hair. It changed back to a dark black color. A new red mist gathers above. Almost there. Zhu Beiwang's voice grew increasingly hoarse. He is on his way down the mountain, meeting this swordsman. Qian Tower, 92 stories. Not a light born of chance. But it was originally at this level, already surpassed the 4 great detectives of the 6 gates. This person has weak strength, but Han Yan is unparalleled, is a dancer of grand charisma. If he enters the cave, perhaps it can bring out the goose snake bullet. Half an hour later, arrived at a cliff, jumped down. Zhu Beiwan turned around. Expression grave. The swordsman's legs went weak. Wailing and pleading. Zugonzi, Rao Gyuzaiod, you are a significant figure in Jeju. Why harm an ordinary person? If one has strength, he absolutely resists. But the man before me was terrifying, deliberately concealing one's cultivation, tempting others to take action. Dare to resist him. That is the skin-sweat big tree. It did end. Don't jump or your whole family will suffer. Jump down. I owe you a favor. Zhu Beiwen walked up to the swordsman. Reaching out, she grabbed him by the throat. He said coldly, do you really want to live an unremarkable life? Don't you want to get stronger? Become a revered existence admired by millions across the 9 provinces. The swordsman saw the terrifying eye of the guard. Even more, it was so terrifying that I lost my soul. What kind of demonic skill has this evil practitioner cultivated? Zhu Beiwen tightly gripped the throat. To, I jump high. The swordsman wore a mournful expression. The voice trembles. Zhu Beiwen released his hand, turned around, concealing the purple and blue blood seeping from the corner of the mouth. There is a cave at the bottom of the cliff. There is an egg in the cave. Find the egg and bring it to me. There was a mistake. I will kill your whole family. Help your friends and family. Everyone you know will die. The white-robed figure walked to the edge of the cliff. A cold echo came from the abyss. The swordsman smiled sadly, feeling completely cold. A pair of hands clutched tightly, 4 times the heartbeat. Long lost the ability to think. Poop. He closed his eyes. A charge forward. Falling into the abyss at dawn. He couldn't suppress the pain any longer. Coughing out purple-blue blood. Time flows slowly. The air is chilly at the edge of the cliff in the dead of night. Zhu Beiwang's blood-red hair flowed in the wind, leaning against the tree stump. The left cheek began to swell around the eye. The iron chain spread to the neck. Rummel, rummel. In the clouds, a phoenix cry soared into the sky. The enormous fire phoenix, dozens of jang long, soared away into the night. A figure in a purple dress stands on the phoenix. His dark phoenix eyes suddenly burst forth with 2 strange glimmers, piercing the sky, gazing at the white robe by the cliff's edge. Waist. As soon as I stepped outside, I felt like I was going to die, arrogant and overbearing, bullying the weak with power. This time I want to see what abilities you possess. Chapter 44. Breakthrough to the 2nd layer. 7th rank. Late at night, the fierce mountain wind billows the white robe. Let him look from afar. Like a lonely and desperate flag, the object stands atop the cliff of 1,000 blades. In the vast darkness of the universe, the white robe gradually turned crimson. The face is not evenly distributed with eyeballs. A chain crosses the entire face. This seems to be a desperate gamble with one's head. Zhu Beiwen felt dizzy and lightheaded, barely able to stand. He slowly crouched down. I felt an unprecedented sense of loneliness and exhaustion. Zubonze. A faint sound was particularly clear in the night. On the edge of the cliff, a pair of rough hands stained with blood. The swordsman tied vines around his waist. Climbing on the cliff, Zhu Beiweng opened his eyes silently, grabbed the arm, exhausting the last of my strength, pull the swordsman up. The person was covered in yellow-green blood. The skin is scraped and worn away. Exposed tendons and bones, too horrible to look at. But Zhu Beiweng experiences a great disaster. The swordsman gasped for breath, struggling to lift his gaze. My heart is breaking. Almost scared me into falling back off the cliff. Only a thick cloud of ominous black mist swirled continuously above the evil healer's head. It feels like rushing into the ghost realm. Someone is hiding in pain and struggle. Night fire burns. Sinful undercurrents. What exactly has Zui learned in his training? I ask you where you are staying. Zhu Beiweng stared at him coldly. Despite hearing the weakness in the other person's tone, the swordsman still dared not entertain any extraneous thoughts. He tapped his own firm chest. Zhu Beiweng tore open his tattered clothing. Indeed, there is an oval-shaped, pure white egg, the size of the tear duct. The shell is hard. Get out of the way, otherwise die. Zhu Beiweng sat down cross-legged, looking at the twisted eyes on the evil face. The swordsman quickly shut his eyes, crawling on the ground, well, leaning on the resistance of blood and broken bones. Only a trace of true energy remained to open the storage realm. In the chaotic universe, there is only one God. That is the Grim Reaper. You are about to descend. It's not time yet. Zhu Beiweng smiled softly. Ash opened the blood bottle. The blood-soaked bones erupted with terrifying vitality. The crimson hue enveloped the entire cliff. The spiritual herbs and elixirs emit a harmful aura. Above the firmament, the clouds and mist billow. Daiwu Jinshuang's calm emotions finally stirred. There was a slight difference in his gaze. It seems difficult to see through this technique. After half a stick of incense's time, the void twisted violently. The fire phoenix soars through the clouds. A figure in a purple dress vanished without a trace. Okay, the moment I swallowed the hook-tongue bullet. A tail splits in midair, in a sharp hook shape, a small snake covered in golden scales. The hooked tongue's phantom struggles in the blood mist. And then, a beast resembling a weeping creature with layers upon layers. Boom, rumbling. A circle of crimson ripples spread outwards. In an instant, it enveloped an area of over 10 miles around. The terrifying aura was overwhelming, as if to swallow the night. The swordsman's eyes were filled with shock and horror. This scene refreshed his perception. The cultivation is both dynamic and tranquil. Just a young talent, comparable to a master. This is really outrageous. Zhu Beiweng closed his eyes. Only a few true energies remain. Like a dropped bottle, only a drop can flow into the upward cavity. Bang! A rumble echoed from within. The surrounding energy surged towards him. The vital energy surged suddenly. Zhu Beiweng's eyes were blood red. Suddenly grabbed the iron chain on the skin. With a strong pull, the taut iron chain shook violently. Cracks appeared on the touched surface. The black symbols flickered and danced on the iron chain. A powerful surge of vitality spreads through my limbs, dispelling the chill. The body once again possessed familiar strength. Rumbling, a deafening sound echoed, stirring up clouds of yellow dust. The swordsman was swept away by the wave of energy. Directly flew back dozens of Zhang. Spurt blood wildly. A thick layer of blood-red clouds gathered in the night sky. The ground beneath my feet is a smoky red, as if soaked in fresh blood. Even the air around us, there was also a suffocating aura of malevolence. A chain struggles in the thick mist of blood, swallowed by erosion, and the eye-shaped vortex spins endlessly. Quickly melted away. It is unknown how much time has passed. A figure in a white robe slowly emerged from the blood mist. The bloodthirsty divine skill of Biming actually devours the evil curse at the second level, filling the energy sea within. Still at the stable eighth pinnacle realm, directly break through to the seventh rank lower stage. Walked through the gates of hell. Fortune from misfortune. Zhu Beiwen laughed coldly. The butterfly flaps its wings. Enough to stir up a hurricane. He crossed over. The direction has completely changed. But for this eyeball-shaped curse, memorable, as long as the scent is captured. Again, using nine-star-like essence as a shadow, the sorcerer can cast spells. You should learn from me. Either do it or don't. Either go all in. Now I am alive. You have to die. Don't worry. Your whole family will die a terrible death. Zhu Beiwen schemed to kill the chicken. Almost substantial, like an ancient ferocious beast. In the land of blood honey. The cliff is filled with silence. The evening breeze gently blows. The swordsman lay trembling on the ground. The person in the white robe before me looked entirely different from before. Handsome and carefree, exuding an extraordinary and refined aura. He just stood quietly, but that terrifying sense of oppression, worse than before. "What name do you go by?" A gentle voice came through. Shu Feng." The swordsman struggled to roll his throat. This name really fits the waste material trope. Zhu Beiwen couldn't reach him, overlooking him. "I am not a good person, but repaying kindness with enmity is not something I can do. I owe you a favor." Shu Feng's face turned completely pale. Trembling voice said, "No need. No need to repay the favor. Revenge should be measured. Evil Lio's gratitude. A family shattered and lives lost. To save my life. Must stay away from such people." Zhu Beiwen stared at him for a few seconds. Suddenly, true energy surged from the fingertips. Zhao Chufeng took the shot. Thun. Bone fracture. Blood surge. Awe. Chu Feng was in so much pain that he almost fainted. My heart was completely shattered. Four winds laugh until tears flow. In this world, why does such cold-blooded and cruel evil treatment exist? View the common people as ants and grass swords. Kill if you want to. If you want to torment, then torment. Zhu Beiwen lightly frowned. There was a hint of disappointment in his eyes. Failed treasure hunt. Though Chu Feng was destitute, but at least there is a tattered yellow tear sword. Following the normal procedure, after trampling on him, the treasure system will directly plunder. Now there is no response. Sufficient evidence. This person does not belong to the child of destiny. Night sky, 97 layers. This person is on the 92nd floor, the boundary of the destined child. Which level are we on? It's ready. Zhu Beiwen coldly shouted. Chu Wuji threw out 3 items. Calmly said, "In the future, when you encounter troubles that cannot be resolved, come find me, though not the child of destiny. But they are also individuals of great fortune. I must seize his opportunity." Chu Feng's tears flowed uncontrollably. The heart is roaring wildly. "Meeting you. Count me as having lived 8 lifetimes of beauty. A book of arrows. 2 bottles of elixir." Completely dazed. In an instant, the gaze became extremely shocked. The essence is deep joy, the heavenly net and the arrow of fate. The earth is of low quality. 2 bottles of high quality, healing elixir. This, how is this possible? Shu Feng disregarded the intense pain in his arm, tightly gripping the arrow chart. Excitedly, "Zhu Gonzi, I am willing to serve you as my lord. I will be your follower." Excited voices echoed off the cliff. Those white robes have long vanished into the night. Chapter 45. Warm and cozy. Jingxi. Early morning. When. Melodious Feather Treasure Valley, accompanied by the sound of the elegant music of Billy Jinjiang, slowly coming from outside the city. Rumbling sound. Hundreds of knights surrounded a carriage. A millstone forged from various genius treasures, by a powerful beast with the head of a dragon and the body of a horse, pulling. The sound of wind and thunder reverberated. Look quickly. The Crown Prince of Chu has arrived. No wonder you're at the top of the Kinnean list. This situation is quite terrifying. Speaking of which, we should feel deeply ashamed of ourselves. The top spot was unexpectedly occupied by the prince of a vassal state. Many warriors are gazing at the grinding cart. The face is full of trembling. The state of Chu occupies a remote and small territory. Only a few counties and districts in the vicinity. Always regard Da Kaiyan as the suzerain state. The national strength is very weak. But there is a school of technical skills within the territory. Each princess is a first-class Holy Realm expert, because of the princess's existence, causing deep apprehension in the court of the previous dynasty. They don't dare to invade and annex. Even formulating relevant policies feels like walking on thin ice. After all, it's hard to kill a saint realm once it seeks revenge. The future will surely be filled with scars. This delicate balance has been maintained. The state of Chu pays tribute every year. Da Kaiyan also forbids interference in Chu's domestic affairs. Contemporary Prince Jiang Wuji is said to be a mysterious system. Since the age of 18, just aimed to surpass the peerless talents. The younger generation is struggling to breathe under the pressure. I hope the Wujiu will not disappoint me. If unable to withstand a blow, that's a bit too boring. Inside the carriage sat a handsome 22-year-old man, wearing a golden crown, a cloak of dark feathers, embroidered with the sun, moon, mountains, and rivers. Starlight interwoven. The entire person exuded an indescribable aura of nobility. 1 year later, it's time to unlock the heavenly book. Once again, it coincides with a great struggle. Many film and television stars will gradually emerge. He sees Wuji as the most brilliant young existence of our time, a walking myth among peers. How can one not create a stir and gain fame? First, suppress the so-called species tiger. Challenge the holy sons and daughters of various sects. The journey is unstoppable. No matter who encounters him, all must become mere embellishments. That is Zai Yuxu, who was noted for his learning skills. King Yan ranking third, this time when Mayo goes on a pilgrimage. He will surely take the spotlight, even have the opportunity to comprehend the Confucian Tao. Yang Da Pian, the birthplace of ancient Confucianism. Why are there no Confucian scholars? Quo's determination. If all the artifacts were seized by this person, does that mean Da Kaiyan device malfunctioned? Beside the palanquin, standing there in loose clothing and a thin belt, the scholar of the Sutter of Good Observation, equally captivating to the masses. Every 5 years, when Mayo senses the North Dipper and drives the stars. At that time, the literary instruments were vast. Da Kaiyan will hold a pilgrimage tour. Scholars from all over the 9 provinces. Everyone can come to Jing City to admire the elegance. Understanding the saint statue, relying on a few innate talents and insights. Seizing the opportunity, and this time, the hottest. Without a doubt, it is to commemorate Zhu Gong and Zai Yuxu. It's one thing to have the artifacts plundered, the prince of the Chu state, in the name of the holy gathering, coming to challenge the great champion. Isn't this just a slap in the face? Provocation. Sai, the crown prince of the nation has spoken. Is Da Khaim really going to avoid battle? The shameful crime that brought disgrace to the empire. Who can bear it? Liu Shan men is not pleased. People are already in Langya County. The martial arts tournament that has yet to be officially recognized. He happily ran to host. They must have received the news and slipped away long ago. You mean to say Chang Tianjia lacked the courage to spar and exchange techniques. Of course, to extinguish the arrogance of Prince Jiang. Only by relying on the second place of the Qingyan list did I achieve success. The dancers along Juke Street were buzzing with discussion. There is a deep sense of frustration in the words. The courtiers stand at the Chengtian gate. The expression was somewhat relaxed. Although Jian Wuji, there is an invincible title among the younger generation. But that's when there are no tigers in the mountain. The monkey claims the throne. The Wujia has already sent signals to the outside world. The tiger cultivated over 10 years has now entered the capital. The royal family Jai Minju stepped out of the sacred Laxia palace. Despite not understanding the Wu family's tiger breeding, you can see the confident and proud stance of the Wu family. This person's cultivation is profound and unfathomable. The strength of the top ranked on the Qingyan list is evident here. Once defeated, wasn't it that day when a stone hit the foot? Dare to fight hard. It shows that there is absolute confidence in victory. The carriage rolled towards the imperial city. Suddenly, the noise in the venue suddenly quieted down, silent as crows and sparrows. A man in a white robe appeared at the end of the long street. Like returning home or meeting death, Shen Yun stands out uniquely. The atmosphere was dead silent. Under the gaze of the masses, his expression was completely flat. Zugonzi. In Langya County, they defeated the Khan clan members of the 6th rank. Like a boulder sinking into a lake, the 9 provinces were stirred by tumultuous waves. Directly rose to 7th place on the Qingshan ranking. The speed is incredible. Shocking, such a strong and fearless existence. He has returned. In the eye of the car, Jiang Wuji gazed at the approaching figure in white robes. Speak naturally. Zhu Tianjiao, do you wish to challenge me? You are qualified for this. HMPH. Once the waves are stirred up, the crowd was in an uproar. Immediately shocked beyond measure. The competition has begun. Zhu Beiwang had a blank expression. Continue toward the imperial city. This king once stood at the mountain peak, yet has never fallen into the abyss. With this king present, Jietu Tianjiao, who dares to say it won't be done? Who dares to claim invincibility? Jiang Wuji shook his head. Step by step, he walked down the grinding wheel. It seems to express regret. If it weren't for being born in the wrong era, with your talent, it is destined to reach the peak. Unfortunately, only one person can stand at the peak. I'm very sorry. That belongs to my position as the king. His tone was light and carefree, but it exuded a sense of arrogant entitlement. 6th-tier lowly ant. He crushed a finger to death last year. It was just a single finger. The so-called young master Zhu. I inevitably became one of his stepping stones. Zhu Beiwang slightly furrowed his brows. The pretentious person from the state of Chu is really annoying. It seems. You lack combat experience. Then I'm always ready for you to challenge me, my king. This king is clear. You are definitely more than just the strength of 6th place on the Qingyan ranking. Jiang Wuji slightly stepped aside. The tone is quite interesting. Amid countless eager gazes, Zhu Beiwang did not stop. The deputy walked towards the Ye Guang Palace. Encounter in the imperial city Zhu Beiwang's face gradually darkening. He found it hard to suppress the surging urge to kill, but he needs to plan in secret. Killing one person is simply not enough. The entire family must be exterminated to vent my anger. Yao Wang Hall. A day without seeing the Empress feels like 3 autumns. Nang Nang Public Security. Zhu Beiwang is respectfully rude, gazing at the noble and aloof jade armor of the leader. Steal away those beautiful feet resting on the carpet. Can't help but sigh inwardly. It's still warm and cozy here, wrapped tightly in a sense of security. Meo, the fat cat, darted out from the side hall, straining to push Zhu Beiwang's errand. Get lost. Zhu Beiwang kicked away. Fifth Well Shuing stared at him for a while. The tone is cold. You are flattering me here, Your Highness. Bullying others with power outside. Living quite comfortably. Please listen to my defense. Zhu Beiwen remained silent. Bow your head in a posture of admitting your mistake. Transition chapter. Next, there will be a continuous thrill. Thank you for your donation. Monthly pass. Recommendation ticket. Chapter 46. Something's off with you. Yao Wang Palace. The boss's face was as cold as ice. The assistant looked slightly timid. Stalemate for a while. The frosty group of the fifth well in disguise. The voice has no warmth. Otherwise, not a trace of emotion. You can roll out. Meow. Fat cat raised its hooves to create a musical rhythm. Zhu Beiwang remained motionless. Take out the vermilion Yukin from the storage realm. Shamelessly said, can you help break the formation inside the cup? The fifth well's frost slanted against him, unmoved. The atmosphere gradually became awkward. Zhu Beiwang slightly lowered his head. Strong and powerful, the cup must pull back from the cliff to mend one's ways. Lost and found the way back. Zixin Jemian, starting a new life. Words do not match feelings. Fifth Well Frost interrupted his words. Lan Landau, I can see through your heart. Are you thinking at this moment how to bully others with increasing arrogance? No, I'm thinking of holding the jade from the boss. Zhu Beiwang remained silent. Suddenly took out a few scrolls from the storage realm. This cup is a labor of love, specifically to pass the time for the Empress. Speaking, the expression showed slight unease. In his view, the leader is lonely, even if it intimidates the entire realm. But he seemed very far from the mortal world. A powerful figure like him overlooks the common people. Not much stuff can still ignite his interest. But it doesn't mean there is no desire for what is called desire. For example, a glass mirror. Perfumes are things that transcend his understanding. Will romantic novels attract him? What is it? Fifth Well looked over. The scroll flew into his hands. This is a picture book novel, Zhu Beiwang said mysteriously. Fifth Well, the frost goddess, appeared indifferent. I briefly glanced at the cover. Bate. To save his life, he collapsed in a pool of blood. Blindness. He said he didn't want to marry a blind woman. Turning away, 3 years later, he reigned supreme. Slowly walked up to him. Indifference rode. You. The frost on the fifth well was expressionless. Continue to turn the page. It is quite simple and easy to understand. Completely colorless. He couldn't reach the well platform. With closed eyes, my gaze lingered on the scroll. Zhu Beiwan's eyes suddenly lit up. Does the boss really like this tune? Does this count as stepping into his heart? Although the contrast is too great. However, Zhu Beiwen was not very surprised. After all, the female tyrant cooked the meal herself. It's already terrifying enough. Everyone has two sides, except for the eldest. Under the heavens, No one is qualified to make Zhu Beiwang put on a servile expression. Time flows second by second. The fifth well, chewing Huey, crossed her fair white legs. Extremely languid expression. He has strikingly exquisite features. Noble temperament. Like a fairy who has mistakenly entered the mortal world. Each bottle carried a chilling frost. But Zhu Beiwang vaguely caught a hint of the warmth of life. He poured a cup of tea, respectfully handed over, surrounded by demons. 9 yen. How to stop the cup from spilling. Quite interesting. Next, we see Gaukeo's place. He ended up lightly sweating from his hands. Taking advantage of the show, Zhu Beiwang cautiously asked, "Na kin." Fifth well, Frost looked up. Dan said. The emotions in his eyes were very complex. 3 parts coolness and thinness. 3 minutes of disdain. 4 minutes of casual indifference. "You should tell me, your Majesty. What expression is this?" Zhu Beiwen was speechless. Ning Yan remained silent. Female critics often use this kind of vocabulary. It can be understood as a chart of expressions and good deeds. Why do you focus on describing feet? The frost in the fifth well squinted her phoenix eyes. Zhu Beiwang was taken aback. Pretend to be at a loss. Fifth well, chewing didn't dig too deep into it. Suddenly, his arms were like lotus stems, blooming with purple light. The warmth intertwines within the radiance. It seems to contain the principles of the Great Way. But the Gyukin placed on the dark base. Severe tremors. A beam of twilight light burst forth from the, and then struggle and break. Zhu Beiwang was quite careless. A drop of essence splashed from the forehead. Dripping Gyukin. Tianji. Heavenly steps. The Kaiyun Tower does not deceive me. Big Boss is impressive. In the midst of casual remarks. Just crush the formation inside the piano. Roll away. Yet he transmitted a calm voice. Quan Xiu takes a swing. Zhu Beiwang flew out backwards. Open your eyes. They arrived at a secret temple. The palace roads shimmer with warmth. Spiritual or a shadow. It felt like it was about to liquefy. Zhu Beiwang immediately sat down cross-legged. Consciousness enters the Gyukin. The bright moon hangs high in the sky. The sound of the Gyukin echoes through the hall. The bird perches on the eaves, playing the zither. It's Bon. The sound of the zither was interrupted. A figure from the subgroup suddenly appeared in the hall. Several books have just been finished. Zhu Beiwang feigned a conflicted expression. I am feeling lost, urgently seeking the Empress's guidance. Otherwise, where would there be any ideas? As they spoke, a bare stone flew out from the storage realm. The fifth well pinned him for a few seconds. Then the gaze turned to the stone. The tone is calm and steady. I found some good stuff while scavenging again. It is sealed inside. Tao Wu's innate battle skill. Talent warfare. Zhu Beiwen was pleasantly surprised. Tao Wu is one of the ancient temple's fierce beasts. Stirring the wild valley. With chaos. Kyongik, the gluttonous beast's strange name, even if one can only imitate the surface. The power will be terrifying beyond measure. Shaiban. The fifth well's bilingual air carried an undeniable authority. The Empress is pressing too hard. I can't write it out. Zhu Beiwang resolutely rejected it. Fifth well let out a sigh. Lan Lan Da. What about now? In the grand hall it swirled. Had. A golden compass suddenly appeared in mid-air, spinning at an incredible speed. The light enveloped the stone. Zhu Beiwang couldn't hold on any longer. Dark detective. This is the correct way to urge for updates. Where the low growl of the beast echoed. The scent of wild valleys fills the air. A silently revealed its bloody fangs. The phantom torso surged with blood and rage. A claw swiped towards Zhu Bei Wan. Bound. Zhu Bei Wang stood with his chest out. The fierce light in his eyes shot out. The motion of that claw, surprisingly clear in my mind, unless you have the blood of the pottery spirit. Otherwise, use this battle skill. One must supply their own blood essence to nourish the stone. Di Jinshuang retrieved the compass. Zhu Beiwan's gaze was blank. No response. Peng. Wu Dai Jinshuang's expression changed. Nanyang. The cup is brewing a sentimental bond. Woof, 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 woof. Zhu Beiwan took out a piece of paper from the storage realm. Yan Tai. Ink. Wolf hairbrush. Channeling my inner energy, I pick up the pen and start to write, writing as if guided by a divine hand. Not a moment's pause. Very good. Dai Wu Jin Shuang disappeared without a trace. 7 days later, you can roll now. Dai Wu Jin Shuang appeared in the grand hall. Expression returns to indifference. Zhu Beiwang paused his writing. I have a rough idea. The boss has lost interest. After all, curiosity has passed. This kind of romantic drama cliché, you will always get tired of it. What should I use to attract him next time? Understood. Zhu Beiwang was very pleased with his harvest. It's time to say goodbye. Wait a moment. Fifth Jin Shuang took a few steps back, overlooking him. What is black silk? Several books have this thing. His arms and eyes are deep like the stars. Inside, Zhu Beiwang's awkward expression was printed. What women usually wear. Cup values can also be made. Does the princess want it? Zhu Beiwan remained very calm, striving to suppress. Don't let the boss notice anything unusual. Something's off with you. Fifth Jin Shuang was curious. But I didn't delve deeper. Get lost. Floating in a sea of talents. Zhu Beiwang soared out. Chapter 47. I just came to see the world. Requesting a monthly ticket. Evening. The entrance is bustling with people all day long. Zhu Beiwan stopped in his tracks. The scholar squinted as he scanned his surroundings. Strange. The aura tower above everyone's head. There has been an increase, more or less. Stop. Zhu Beiwan casually intercepted a scholar on the road. Where to go? The scholar saw this face. Immediately became obsequious, Bajai. The cat crouches low, ready to pounce. Zugonzi. The Confucius temple is open. There gathered readers from all over the land. Zhu Beiwang's expression remained unchanged. Hidden in the heart, why not join in the fun? Jai, whose opportunity? I have an unshirkable responsibility. Lead the way. He let out a cold snort. Wenmao Square. The towering stone statue of Perseverance stood at 100 feet tall. The breath of time fills the deep valleys. These statues, everyone is a high-ranking official waiting for something, with an air of dignity. Or the deputy stands firm, or holding a scroll. They are all in the Huang historical records of Jeju, leaving a glorious mark. Shouhu is revered by countless scholars. The outskirts of the square were densely packed, a sea of people, stretching endlessly for over 10 miles. Sin, unprecedentedly magnificent. Today is not just a gathering for scholars. After the understanding of the Tao comes to an end, there will be a shocking battle. Wujia Wuzhen challenges the top of the Qingyun list. Crown Prince Jiang Wuji of the state of Chu take the initiative to issue a challenge, even if this talented one is arrogant and prideful. Want to take the opportunity to gain fame and create a buzz. But the Wu family is not foolish. Since you dare to challenge, then there is definitely a 90% certainty Countless people turned their gaze towards the high platform. In the center of the high platform stood a magnificent Fengyin. On the left side there was a man in a black robe. He appeared very ordinary, and the same generation as that Geia, the striking brilliance of Prince Jiang. A world of difference. But those eagle-like eyes, radiating extraordinary pride, moreover standing next to the Empress. It also shows how highly he is regarded, only allowed to win, not allowed to lose. A gentle voice floated enduring the peak of the phoenix year. Wu Junji's expression showed no change at all. Calmly said, "The queen is preparing a celebration banquet." Wu Zhao's eyes revealed a subtle appreciation. This younger generation has a calm temperament. Unable to find a single flaw, Wu Junji gazed into the distance. "I was born to be a mountain and soar like a flowing stream. I desire to stand atop the peaks, overlooking your mediocre chasms. I can't say anything either. Otherwise, the Wu family will surely be ridiculed by many forces. Losing face. Become a laughingstock. Jiang Wuji, you are the first stepping stone for me to push ahead of my peers." Seemed to have a connection. Chuguo Nianqi Lai. Jiang Wuji adjusted the golden crown on his head. "The wind is gentle and the clouds are light." Fan Tian battle body. 10 years of cultivation in the barren land. The fields outside the warrior's home. Don't underestimate her worth. As soon as it was weighed, it was 8 taels. The true form is revealed. At this moment, a luxurious white robe appeared in the square. The crowd stirred again. Automatically clear a path. The bold and fearless young Master Zhu. What is he here for? Is it also a challenge to Prince Jiang? Looking at this evil Liao, Wu Chenxi felt a surge of anger rising within him. Teeth clenched. "I wish I could crush him to dust." Shattered into 1,000 pieces. The humiliation of that day, deeply engraved in his heart. It can never be washed away. You must kill Zhu Yi Liao. Wu Chenxi wore a gloomy expression. Wu Junji's eyes shimmered with a smooth glint. A thrilling breath circulates. He stepped out slowly. He walked towards the dawn in a white robe. Well, the crowd was shocked and stunned, sensing a palpable threat in the air. Should the warrior family seek revenge? What's with all the stray cats and dogs daring to act recklessly in front of the Wu family? Wait for me to defeat Jiang Wuji. I'll step on you without hesitation. If I kneel and bow my head, perhaps I can be magnanimous." Jiang Wuji's expression was cold and stern. A terrifying pressure spread all around. "Step by step we have come here." Cracks suddenly appeared on the blue stone slab on the ground. In an instant there was complete silence. Looking at this scene, the crowd felt a chill. What a formidable power this must be! If hit by a punch, it might just explode directly. Flesh and blood collapse. The divine spirits are extinguished. No wonder he is praised by the Wu family as a once-in-1,000 years prodigy. Does young Master Zhu have the strength to compete with him? Zhu Beiwan gazed at the newcomer. The expression showed slight confusion. "You are HMPH." The words light as a feather shocked the entire venue. Zhu Gongzi has truly taken arrogance to the extreme. That's right. This unrivaled existence. But in Lanya County, the remnants of the Gu family were suppressed, facing the insult from the 6th rank lower street. Just one move, exposed on the outside. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Under the iceberg, how much strength is still hidden? Who knows? Having a sharp tongue is of no help. When I appeared in that moment of shock, you are already a dead person. Wu Junji did not get angry, even find it laughable. And sorrow. It is just a tiny ant. Let the Empress be shamed. bringing disgrace to the Wujia family. Okay. Zhu Beiwen remained non-committal, gently sweating palms. I'm waiting for you to crush me. Wu Junji stared at him for a few seconds, let out a soft chuckle, immediately turned and left. In the car, Jiang Wuji's body felt light. Mugon Zixu, with a faint smile at the corners of the mouth, looking down from above at two ants fighting. It might not be an untimely death. The crowd dispersed in all directions. Both could see the excitement in each other's eyes. The blood was almost on fire. A long night, extraordinarily wonderful. The Crown Prince ranks first on the Kingyun list, pushing the younger generation forward. It is rumored to be the rare Brahma battle body, Sugonzi, rising with an almost monstrous speed. Like a round red sun, the battle will take place across the Jeju continent. He has never been defeated either. Someone has already asserted he will retrace the path of the fifth demon lord. When Ganted, night falls. Above the 4-9 heavens, the melodious sound of the bell rang out. The square of Rida has fallen into silence. Everyone, for now, gather your thoughts. His expression became solemn. Liu Kanjia presides. Begin the ritual to honor the saints of the past. Sages and Confucian scholars. Yao Man's expression was filled with worry. He whispered, "It is said that the 5 military machines have reached the strength of a 6th-rank mid-tier." Zhu Beiwen just nodded. There were no ripples in his gaze. At this moment, rumbling, a loud rumble echoed through the sky. Everyone saw a vast white mist in a daze, like a river in the sky, descending from the boundless night sky. Wangxin Pangbo Wangqi, Saint Statue Wengming, like a majestic mountain peak falling. When Mayo suddenly revealed a staircase. The steps are enveloped in a rich and righteous aura. Standing on the highest floor, Crown Prince Jiang Wuji looked at the cultured scholar beside him. Zai Yuexu was full of confidence. Step into the center of the square first. But the lengthy deadlock was broken. The scholars of Jeju can no longer contain themselves. Swarmed up, every expression of the future, facing the statue of the saint. Look quickly. It has appeared. Someone suddenly exclaimed. Only seen at the bottom of the ladder. A faint shadow appeared. It was Zai Yuexu. So soon, not just an ordinary dancer. Da Kaien's officials and soldiers could hardly hide their shock. This child has a divine appearance. Mother, what on earth is going on? Zhu Beiwen felt quite confused. He really doesn't pay much attention to Confucianism. Yao Man explained softly. The scholar silently recites poetry and prose in his heart, resonating with the statue of the sage. Will gain corresponding opportunities. This time, it is estimated that Zai Yuexu will win the championship. The Kong family holds the second position. Third, half the story told, only to see their son striding out confidently, walking towards the Jiaowen Temple Square. He was stunned, spoke in a hoarse voice. You are not a scholar." This scene, it also stirred up a tumult in the arena. This white robe is exceptionally conspicuous. Why did young Master Zhu go up without any literary talent? On the altar, Kanda shouted loudly, "Step back. This is not a place for you martial artists to be." Zhu Beiwen casually found a spot. "Sit cross-legged." In a casual tone, "I see the world as it is." Kanda chuckled. "Judge Idao, where is your literary talent? It will be ready soon." As the voice faded away, expressions of hundreds of thousands of people suddenly became incredible. A bamboo slip floated in front of young Master Zhu. The majestic literary instrument swept out from the bamboo scroll. There is still the phantom of a Confucian sage. Chuk, astonishment, dazed, Wu Zhao, Wen Wubo, Da Kaian Waj. Anyone who sees the bamboo slips, everyone is dumbfounded. My mind went blank, completely unable to think. Spring and autumn. One night. This is a treasure of Confucianism that has been passed down for thousands of years. In the great catastrophe 5,000 years ago, several pages are missing. I never expected it to happen to young Master Zhu. He brazenly take out the condensed literary essence. Really arrogant. Absolutely arrogant. Everyone looked on with jealous eyes, staring intently at the bamboo slip. Ud, a bolt from the blue, the inner heart of Kangde, like a landslide. The river floods. Volcanic eruptions are generally. I feel like I might just fall apart. This leaf is on the evil treatment. He had just returned from Langya County. That fool Kong Hong who was played like a dog. Unrestrained. You dare to seize the Confucian treasure. Kangde's anger surged. Her voice was like a bell ringing. He stood up with a clear forehead. The eyes are icy cold, like a sword urging forth coldness. It was almost enough to make Zhu Beiwing burst out of the blood bank. Some scholars studying the statues of the Kangwu were startled awake. The crowd was as silent as cold cicadas. The atmosphere was as stiff as iron. Zhu Beiwing burned as if he were unheard. The mind is immersed in the bamboo slips. The wind is gentle and the clouds are light. This is a gift from the noble consort. Don't make a fuss and stop shouting. Ah! Kangde felt as if an invisible hand was gripping his throat. His face turned bright red. The body couldn't help but stand. The crowd couldn't help but gasp in shock. My heart is in turmoil, shocking to an unimaginable extent, freely bestowing Confucian treasures. What great trust this is! King Yang is nothing special, right? In the year of the phoenix, Wat Ao Feng's phoenix eyes narrowed like a phoenix. The gaze was exceptionally cold. The gaze approves of the invincible. That's because they weren't on the same level as the fifth demon lord. Otherwise, he is just like the 35 prodigies from 10 years ago. Finally, it all collapses. Life and death to oblivion. That belongs to the Kong family. Kangde's eyes were filled with anger and hatred, staring at Zhu Ilio. Incomprehensible struggle and entanglement. Please tell the Empress. Zhu Beiwing calmly replied. Then the body finally began to change. When there is a large bell on the left side of the sacred temple. Clearly, no one collided. At that moment, a loud noise suddenly erupted. The great bell tolls, spread in all directions. Hundreds of thousands remained silent. A stunning glance. Confucian scholars emerged. The sacred temple will ring the bell. The strong and fearless Master Zhu. The writing has solidified. It really makes them envious. How many people have read books their whole life? I can't even feel the air. He glanced at the bamboo slips, just like a mouth holding an antenna. A scholar who can see life and death at a glance. The shining Wenchuxing in the vast sky. A tremendous and mighty force, crossing distant distances, directly into Zhu Beiwing's head. Bun. Zhu Beiwing felt the bold vortex within him. A charming expression appeared with a hint of a smile. This matter is not over. Kangde was so angry that he felt his liver and gallbladder were about to burst. By any means necessary. We must reclaim the night of spring and autumn. After this interlude, countless scholars begin to comprehend the Daoinu, as everyone turned their gaze towards the sky ladder. Shocked expression, Zai Yuxu turned a blind eye to the scene just now, muttering incantations under their breath. The The shadow was almost about to step onto the top of the heavenly ladder. Almost substantial literary energy gathered above his head. Truly the most outstanding scholar of the Jixia Academy, if not for the premature end. Achievements beyond imagination. At that moment, shivering while speaking, whom Kankyong Temple is a crack opened. The Wenshu star shook violently for a moment. The purple river is winding and flowing. Faintly visible. Countless people gasped. Almost turned into a needle tip. Full of shock and fear. Anger lasts long. How is this possible? Someone is looking towards the Confucius Temple Square. Voice trembling. Daojian, Chapter 48. Boo, boo boo. The literary spirit reflects across 90,000 miles. Wenmayo Square. Suddenly, everything spiraled out of control. Hundreds of thousands witnessed an incredible scene. The purple river stretches across the sky. The brilliant light cascaded like a waterfall. Extremely grand and magnificent. Boo! The atmosphere suddenly began to swirl rapidly. The evening veil of the Wenchang star pierces through the purple river, gathered into shards of broken heart light, falling on the top of the white robe. At this moment, the focus of everyone's attention. Everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. All are in a state of ultimate shock. It's simply absurd. Just condensed the literary talent. The brush has not yet warmed up. Just pulling the heavenly machine. Raise the towering waves. What kind of monster truly exists? Bump. Boy tremors. The heavenly ladder collapsed in an instant. A tiny piece of writing instrument. Consumed entirely by the purple river. Wenmayo, the scholar, never had the chance to gain anything. Directly abandoned ruthlessly by the statue of the sage. I no longer have the qualification to reflect. The prodigy of the academy, Zai Duxu. Rare slip-up, struggling to move their lips. The gaze is unexpectedly lost. And an unbearable sense of melancholy, stepping into the future with unwavering confidence. But he had completely become an accessory. In front of Zhu Beiwang, he doesn't even have the faint light of a firefly. Countless astonished gazes. No different from him. And condescended. Wu Chengxi and others looked at each other, their hearts nearly breaking, even doubting if I was hallucinating. This scene is ache. Rumbling sound. The statue of the sage sings in unison. Life is like rolling thunder piercing the sky. Moment. A painting slowly unfolds in the void. Ancient spring and autumn. The rooster crows and dogs bark in the mountain village. Chuiyan Nayo Nayo. In the dictionary. A group of children with double-looped hairstyles of the young scholars. Sit on the ground. The scholar in a white robe, with his back to Jiang'an, holding the ring. Citizens. Diane. Jai Tong put away his playful thoughts. With wide, dark eyes open, chattering excitedly, to establish a heart for heaven and earth, establishing the destiny for the people, for the sake of the departed, learn the ultimate knowledge, to bring peace for all generations. They shook their heads and nodded. The tender recitation echoes endlessly in the thoughts of the ordinary. Master was satisfied and wiped his sweaty hands. Turn around. A handsome face without worries. Those eyes were as deep as the vast stars. The painting fades away. It felt as if the world had paused for a moment. 4 sentences, transformed into golden words as large as mountains and moons, constantly flying through the void. Then they formed a line. My chest feels like it's about to explode. An unparalleled shock. Huang's holy words, 4 sentences, condensed the aspirations of all scholars. The readers present only listened once. The essence of enlightenment, full of passionate enthusiasm, rumbling, The atmosphere enveloped the entire city of Beijing. Then it spread in all directions. Golden clouds appeared behind the figure in white robe. Shen Yaoyi's stunning face was completely frozen. Na Nadao. Countless people were shaken continuously. The sacred word cuts through heaven and earth like a knife. The merits of educating the scholars of Jeju, Feng Nian Lai, Wadao Jinzu and Nainch Fashu. The plot is as sharp as a knife. Red lips, green paint. Wu Chengxi's expression was filled with gloom. Ertu Qingjin stood up. Hatred drives one to madness. Why? This brutal and cold-blooded evil treatment can also gain the recognition of heaven and earth. Were Confucian nonsense of righteous spirit, absurd, fearful and dazed. Like madness, he instinctively felt a strong desire to strangle it. But at that moment, the voice of Buddhist chanting resounds through heaven and earth. The Buddha's light swept in like a storm. A golden handprint appeared in the void. The guest room was unexpectedly shrouded, covering dozens of miles. The auspicious clouds of merit descended fiercely. Sudden emergence of a mutation. Countless people were horrified. When Wu Guan Heron then cast a subtle gaze towards Feng Nian. 5 families worshipping the high monk Pujai. The Empress Dowager could no longer contain herself. This needs to cut off the merits immediately. Jai Yuan, who let the false evil cure the disaster. That is the greatest secret of the 5 families. The vibrations shaking the universe. Jai Yuan can still be young. The Buddha's light shines brightly. The golden handprint emitted a deafening sound. About to collide with Gongdayan. Silence fills the arena. The blood in the crowd has nearly congealed. The next moment, roll away, void-rending, endless icy cold swept in. Under that terrifying atmosphere, it seems that the golden lion can be solidified into a statue. The ice crystal city of silver pillars, HMPH. The golden handprint was pierced by the chill, directly turned into powder. The vast Buddha light was devoured. Everyone was terrified. The high monk Pujai hidden in the shadows. Even more terrifying. There is an incredible economy. Who moved? Who died? A cold voice spread throughout the venue. Hundreds of thousands entered the cicada, not even daring to breathe, fearing to anger this terrifying female demon. Wajiao's face was tightly strained. Under the raised eyebrows, a pair of eyes burned red with anger, emitting 2 beams of cold light. The 5 families wished to read the gaze. Let out a hissing roar. Kang Des Hang hung his head in despair. If he dares to have any improper actions, it is no different from sending someone to their death. The female demon has not yet appeared. Let him feel suffocated, reaching his level. The rules of the mundane world. That's nonsense. Just as everyone was still immersed in that last blow, 12 lotus flowers appeared beneath Gong Dayan. Then it transformed into 12 silver lotus seeds, falling into Zhu Beiwang's deep zone. This moment, the audience was dry-mouthed from reading. The fierce passion surged in their chests. 4 sentences are worth more than my 20 years of cultivation. Zai Yuozhu swallowed the bitterness in his throat. The expression is quite blank. He was favored like a beloved disciple. The first time I felt the unfairness. The other scholars were even more so. If extremely powerful, that can overturn the heavens. Reading late at night with a lamp in my youth. I don't know how many books I flipped through. Barely condensed Pamilo. Always unable to surpass the Confucian 9 ranks. Where is young Master Zhu? People can make you feel frustrated. These 4 lines of Confucian truth will be forever recorded in history. Immortal prime years. Amidst the discussions, The white robe facing the sculpture burst forth with a powerful literary aura. The pomelo vortex appeared above. Swallow the lotus seeds. Then it grew stronger. Bum. 9 ranks. Bum. Bapin. Bum. 7th rank. From a warrior to a 7th rank pinnacle scholar. It only took the time of 2 incense sticks. An unbelievable miracle. This is an insurmountable, terrifying gap akin to an antenna. Let the young generation present, bringing forth despair and helplessness. Zhang Wuji had a blank expression. It stirred up huge waves in my mind. Witness the process firsthand. His invincible Tao heart never wavered, but it also created ripples. Under the wise, there are no falsehoods. The trusted confidant carefully nurtured by the 5th demon lord. Indeed, it has its uniqueness. Relying solely on this Confucian talent, it is enough to push aside fellow scholars. Even Zai Yuexu could only watch in envy. Time passes. The purple river in the sky gradually dissipates. The light of the Wenchu star dims. It's about to conclude. The Confucius Temple Square was silent as a grave. Everyone's gaze remained fixed on this white robe. Unmatched dominance. The radiance of splendor. It's simply unimaginable. In a few years, the vast Jeju will no longer have the younger generation. Will be his opponent. Another 5th demon lord. Far away. A powerful figure from a prestigious family. A chill ran through me. The gaze was filled with deep apprehension, seemingly sensing something. He silently lifted his head, greatly alarmed. Chapter 49. Please let Wang Leigu go to his death. The Confucian temple is calm and peaceful. In an instant it passed. Yet the waves are turbulent. Boom, boom, boom. The sculpture of the Confucian immortal erupted with a thunderous roar. A blank celestial book slowly emerges from the void, coming at you. A majestic aura enveloped the white robe. Hundreds of thousands stared in astonishment. What is this? Divine thought. Zai Yuexu felt a chill run down his spine. His expression was one of extreme horror. Confucian immortals embody the spirit and elegance of scholars. The scholar never perishes. Confucian classics endure. The consciousness of such a great figure will never completely dissipate. At this moment, the thoughts of the sages become a book. This is the greatest affirmation of Zhu Beiwang. Acknowledge his contributions to scholars. What will they commend him for? Why him? Conde shook his head. The voice trembled with a raspy sound. He couldn't believe it. Unwilling to believe. I simply cannot accept the reality before me. Anyone else who reads can do it. But it must not be Zhu Elio. The Kong family has a deep-seated grudge against the 5th demon lord. The family member most likely to be promoted to the sacred realm died a tragic death at the hands of the demon lord. Zhu Elio is also the trusted confidant of the demon lord. This conversation has captured the essence of a spring night all to itself, playing with the Kong clan members in Langya County like pawns. If the enemy gains a chance as great as the Tao, isn't the Kong family becoming a laughingstock for the world? Well, Pang Bo's righteous aura swept over the white robe. A phantom of a high-ranking official appeared above the wordless celestial book. The shadow slowly raised its hand, gently stroking the top of the white robe. This scene left Da Kaiang Gun and the others utterly shocked. Zhu Jing is even more powerful in combat. Almost suffocated, there was a deep joy in Xu Enji's eyes. Is this the inheritance recorded in ancient texts? One of the ancient immortals. To convey a lifetime of insights about the Tao, all passed down to Wan. Haihaj. Countless scholars contorted their faces in heated debate. This is to the point of extreme madness. Favored by Confucian immortals. This is the desire to become a sage. Confucian sub-sage, equivalent to the sacred realm of the five paths. Confucian sage, that is the supreme realm of five paths. In other words, as long as loyalty is not broken through this legacy, Zhu Gongzi is very likely not as good as a first-rank saint realm. Well, gently brushed the top of the head. Under countless astonished gazes, Zhu Beiwang's hair turned white strand by strand. The whole person exudes a sense of profound experience. The vast and mighty energy flow, like a tide surging towards the body. The true energy in the Kai Sea. There is indeed a sense of collapse. But the originally powerful physical energy and vitality is slowly being weakened. The soul becomes a vehicle, enemy evolution, only humiliation, only with a single-minded devotion. Thang Kehan Yan Ru Dao, only by having the ability can one have the chance to step into the realm of the sage. Zhu Beiwang opened his eyes silently. Life is like a red zhong, not accepted. The body instinctively resists the secrets. Seal the inner markings tightly. Do not let excess energy intrude. The empty hand holds the silent, heavenly book. A fracture appeared in the energy pattern above Zhu Beiwang's head. The screen abruptly stops. The Confucian temple square resembled a gloomy wooden cellar, caught in a death-like silence. Not affected, he does not accept the inheritance. What an arrogant action, rarely seen since ancient times. It's surprising that someone would resist the legacy of Confucianism's second sage. Is young Master Zhu crazy? Fear of the gaze of the Master God. I can no longer express my feelings in words at this moment. Is there no place for kindness in a malicious heart? The sage is unworthy to teach him how to be a person, not qualified to teach him how to do things. This is even more arrogant and ignorant than an ancient ferocious beast. Yao Guangho, the fifth well squinted with her phoenix eyes, gently curling the corners of the lips. Finally did something that satisfies me. The so-called second sage. The building is finished. The top floor of the Tianji pavilion. An old man from the ditch, lifting the corners of the wrinkled eyes, gazed at the imperial city. The gaze stopped again at the Confucian temple. He seems to be talking to himself. This is the era of madness. Confucius Temple Square. Not a sound was heard. Zhu Beiwang's expression remained unchanged. There was no trace of reluctance at all. These 4 sentences. Ultimately, it is gained through theft, even if it is completely my own. Can you truly grasp the deeper meaning within? Moreover, the most crucial point is, he acted in accordance with Confucian principles. Cultivate oneself, regulate the family, govern the country, and bring peace to the world. He can't do a single thing. I, Zhu Beiwang, am someone who will stop at nothing. I lack compassion. No one can stand in my way. Whoever gets in the way will die. This irreconcilable contradiction, even if I obtain the legacy of the sage, it will definitely be troubled by inner demons. In the end, they became withered, bloated skeletons. Moreover, he doesn't want to live a life of conformity. Chu Duo Nian Chi Lai. Jiang Wuji stared intently at the white robe, expression serious, facing this temptation, can firmly refuse. The nature is simply terrifying. At that moment, I want it. A scholar's eyes were crimson. Like madness, ran to the place beneath the book of no words. Tightly engulfed by the vast breath. This person's body instantly collapsed. Both body and spirit are extinguished. Countless people mourned for this brother. Blinded by desire, died on the spot. Zhu Beiwang didn't even lift his eyes. Slowly rise. Walk towards the center of the square. and the wordless heavenly book gradually dims, yet always followed him. This made the readers present feel like their hearts were being torn apart. I can't wait to write furiously. Focus on this point of divine consciousness. Are you deaf? Others don't cherish your legacy. Just short of shouting, get lost. You are truly blind. Haven't you noticed us talented scholars these days? Under the spotlight of the public eye, a handsome man with half-white hair flowing freely, like a terrifying llama. He calmly gazed at the platform. This moment, the atmosphere has become tense. When Wu Bai subconsciously looked towards the 5 families raising tigers. Aren't you going to crush Zhuge Liao? Now the opportunity has arrived. The 5 military machines had stiff expressions. My feet felt like they had taken root, never moved an inch. Zhu Liao is currently stealing the power of heaven and earth, with the blessing of the wordless heavenly scripture. If we were to battle against it, then one becomes a fly, shot randomly. When does white hair turn black? It indicates that the divine thought has dissipated. That is the end of Eliao. Lengthy silence. In front of everyone's eyes, the 5 armies strive to suppress their overwhelming humiliation, always maintaining a sense of calm. Suddenly, the silence was broken. Please send Wang Leigu to his death. A chilling and eerie voice swept through the venue. Once the waves are stirred up, hundreds of thousands looked at each other in confusion. Everyone was intimidated by this overwhelming killing intent. Wang Songshi, come out. Zhu Beiweng had a blank expression, stepping onto the high platform with calmness. Rolling waves crashed violently. Wang Songshi, isn't this a master sorcerer seen by Si Tian? What enmity does Zhu Liao have with him? In the ranks of the ministers, a thin middle-aged man, pulled limbs, as if the top of the head has been lifted. A bucket of cold water was poured in. Wang Songshi was almost bowing his head slightly, a face completely drained of color. The fingers curled in the sleeve trembled violently. For the first time in my life, he felt an overwhelming fear. The thorn is slowly consuming him. Why, how did he know? Moment, almost to the point of realization. A light gaze drifted towards me. Fleeting moments. Zhu Beiweng's deputy stood beside him. Pumpath, Wang Leigu, I'll count to 3. 50 sheets. Feeling a chilling terror. Wen Mayo Square. A flowing white robe. Like a judging Yanuo. Please let Wang Leigu go to his death. A single sentence sent chills down the spines of hundreds of thousands. That terrifying killing intent was almost tangible, spread and permeate all around. In the grand hall, all eyes were on the emperor, staring at the Shaoxuan man. Wang Songshi's eyes, filled with indescribable fear, the lips trembled incessantly. The heart is like a booming war drum. A storm raged violently in his chest, as if it could burst from my chest at any moment. Despair that leaves one utterly hopeless. He actually knows. Why would he know? Dare to cast a dark curse on me? If you don't die, who will? Zhu Beiweng had a slight smile on his face. The voice was cold and piercing. As the voice fell silent, the audience was in an uproar. Master's curse. Young Master Zhu actually managed to survive. It's simply unbelievable. The next moment, the ministers fell into deep thought, except for a few uneasy military officers. Most of them are sharp-minded individuals. I haven't heard that they have any grudges against each other. Why did Wang Songshi cast a wicked curse? Could it be that someone is benefiting? Next time, they suspected the Wu family, although the two sides are temporarily at peace. But the past humiliation runs deep in the bones. How can one easily forget? So the Wu family had ample motive. In the year of the Phoenix, Wu Xiao felt a jolt in his heart. I have a bad feeling. Xuanji's expression darkened. A chilling gaze, wandering between Zhu Beiwang and Wang Songxi. In his imagination, relying on Wu Junji's integrity. Kill Zhu Ilayo. Not only can it wash away the shame, it can still enhance Her Majesty's power. A win-win situation. Why secretly incite a sorcerer? He couldn't tell from Zhu Beiwang's noncommittal expression. Discern the extremely malicious intentions. Evil Lio might know who the mastermind is, but intentionally unveiled for speculation, thus leading to the Wu family. Dirty water poured in from all directions. Wu Xiafang's gaze was icy, gently pressed her lips together, struggling to suppress the overwhelming hatred. In the royal teen, Jia Wudao felt as if she had fallen into an ice cave, like being bare in the icy cold of winter. Every inch of skin is stiffening. Once Wang Songxi said his name. How to explain that? How to respond next? The fierce attack from the Huangdi Five faction. Jia Wudao's mind was about to explode. A wave of blood aura surged forth. This king only wants to sow discord. I want to see the fifth demon lord battling the Wu family. Thus the fisherman benefits. You shouldn't have rejected my service back then. This prince is of great value. He is the crown prince of the empire. He is the emperor of the future. You, a mere commoner, disrespecting this king is a crime. Humiliating this king is an unforgivable crime. But this king regrets it now. Never had there been such a moment. Jia Wudao felt, time is so hard to endure. Every breath torments the body. Today I will die. Tomorrow will also die. Zhu Beiwan's aura surged dramatically. A drop of essence flew into the air, muttering incantations under their breath. Hush! The crowd was stunned. Young Master Zhu, this is a life and death contract. The implication of that sentence is, you dare to avoid fighting. Tomorrow the noble concubine will cut off your superior's head. Zhu Gongzi slays a court official. Perhaps it will end up being just a pie in the sky. But if it were the fifth demon lord, who dares to criticize? Wang Songxi felt as if a sharp weapon had pierced his heart. A sharp despair instantly enveloped my whole body. He knew he had stepped onto a cliff, about to fall into a bottomless abyss. There is no way back. The moment when the evil spell was detected. Perhaps one's death has already been predetermined. A mere master of cultivation. How can one escape the claws of the fifth generation? Desperate situation. Must first suppress. You don't know what it means to be an ant. Bum. Wang Songxi opened his eyes wide. Stepped forward. Essence of blood floats into the air. 2 drops of essence confront each other. The void faintly carries the aura of the heavenly way. The enchanting atmosphere is on the verge of crystallization. Hundreds of thousands gathered together, staring at the silent heavenly scripture above the white robe's head. How powerful is the blessing of the temple? Can we make young Master Zhu the first enemy? If we lose, under the covenant of life and death, does young Master Zhu really have to fall? Like a gambler, truly arrogant. Hush! A loud bang. A gray bone emerged from the void. Countless black runes swirl. Yin Sen Kibu. Ancestral evil bone. In 4 days, many sorcerers appeared with serious expressions. Wang Songxi unleashed his strongest attack right from the start. In an instant, a chill breeze swept through, immediately emanate from the evil bones, spreading in all directions. Some Kai refinement practitioners who abandoned martial arts felt a dizziness in their heads. A strange, invisible force directly penetrated into the depths of their souls. The curse of the sorcerer is too terrifying. Death! Wang Songshi let out a roar. A blood-red eye appeared between her eyebrows. Can slay a genius. No regrets in this life. Su Liang, come accompany this old man to hell. In the underworld, the old man still has to curse you. Ah, a gray bone generates a black chain. A visible ripple of distortion emerged in the void. The white robe wrapped around and departed. That eye scattered a blood-red net into the void. The terrifying power of a fourth-rank sorcerer. Everyone's schemes. Divine soul combat power. They struggled to twist their necks. Looked at the white robe. This handsome man has calm determination. The gaze was extremely indifferent. Like a sage looking down from high above, a kind of literati. Suddenly, the silent book buzzes. Eternal night of 1,000 autumns. In the midst of murder, the figure in the white robe slowly uttered 10 words. The tone was solemn. Boom boom, boom boom. The 10 characters of the silent heavenly book resonate with form. In an instant, endless blood light and malevolent energy radiated out. A vast surge. A breath of ancient slaughter swept toward Wang Songshi. Ku Han Tian Zion. A prophecy fulfilled. Wang Songshi's expression changed drastically. The sharp-eyed gaze instantly dimmed. The black chain was unexpectedly severed. He wanted to avoid it completely, but found themselves seemingly trapped in place. Blood flame. The soul is frozen. Zhu Beiweng's expression was indifferent. Chu. The void split open. 10 bloody characters transform into a blood-red seal. It fell directly down. Wu. Wang Songshi's body was directly crushed. Fragmented. Collapse. A head rises to the sky. Zhu Beiweng slowly extended a hand. The furious energy struck towards the head. Bum. Head exploded. Ears, eyes, and brains splattered everywhere. Blood mist envelops. Blood stained half the sky. Moment. A profound silence enveloped the surroundings. Everything around is too quiet. So quiet, like an empty mountain valley. So quiet it sends shivers down my spine. Preetby. Everyone stared in shock at Zhu Beiwang. The snow-white robe was stained with fresh blood, like blooming blood-red flowers. Life and death are always intertwined, truly subjected to 1,000 cuts. Not even a palm-sized piece of flesh was left intact, although aided by the immortal's divine consciousness. But crossing several realms, one moved to defeat a 4th-tier master. I can't believe this. Like a dream, almost to the intense battle of the pupils. A deep fear surged within. They passed by this calm face, saw a cold-blooded killing demon, to dismember a person into 1,000 pieces, not even furrowing his brows. Once this evil therapy grows up, it might be more terrifying than the 5th demon lord. Chapter 51. You will only shrink back into your shell. In the darkness of night, the entire scene was shocking and thrilling. The blinding blood mist gradually disappeared, but the eerie silence persisted, until a cry was heard. Father, the young warrior is in tears, kneeling on the ground, holding a bloody finger. Yes, the only one still intact. It's just the fingers. The young man's body trembled, wiping away the tear stains. Choked with emotion, dead, below may you rest in peace, with the sun's cultivation. I will avenge you. It must be a fantasy. The shell cannot take revenge. What face do I have left to be your son? He wept in sorrow. Suddenly, vital energy surged from my fingertips, cutting off a strand of my hair. Then I will sever our father-son relationship. This vendetta for killing my father, I will repay in my next life. Finished speaking. respectfully bowed 3 times, immediately fled the Wenmiao square in a wild manner. The crowd fell silent. Such absurd and bizarre behavior, they didn't find it funny at all. In this world, not everyone has the courage to generously face death. Does the young man still dare to seek revenge? At this moment, we can only pray that Master Zhu is magnanimous. What if it actually happens? This sentence is highly deceptive. Master Zhu is a strong and rebellious presence. Even if it means death, it is also grand and passionate. I will never die at the hands of an ant. So abandoning filial piety is shameless. But it's not a wise choice. Everyone is clear. The instigator is still hiding in the background. The sorcerer met a tragic end. It's just a knife. As for why they won't reveal the mastermind, I guess I know that saying it out loud could also lead to death. It's better to keep a memory. Perhaps the mastermind will help him take revenge. Zhu Beiwang's expression was calm and unperturbed. Inconvenient joy and anger. Jai Wudao, you will be 1,000 times more miserable than this sorcerer. Your princess, your concubines, your son and daughter, the little prince in the wall fortress. Just wait. It won't be long. At this moment, sounds echoed through the void. The wordless heavenly book gradually shattered, dissolved into nothingness. The immortals' divine thoughts finally gave up. Many people secretly lament, encountering such a terrifying presence. The vast righteousness cannot be washed away. The assassin's actions were driven by his mental will. The figure in the arena still has half white hair, shoulder-length hair, half pitch black, half snow white, the line between good and evil for assassins, like a divide between gods and demons. Beneath the handsome and unblemished facade, this indifferent face. Extraordinary charm and madness. He stared at the boots of the white robe, gently furrowed his brow, then said faintly, "Zhang Hu, aren't you trying to crush me?" Light. Boo boo. Hundreds of thousands were shocked. A wave has yet to settle. Another wave arises. The arrogant young Master Zhu. I have begun to embark on the path of suppressing my peers. Such an existence, you must keep a firm grip over the younger generation, the mountain that cannot be crossed. Chukao of the state of Chu. Jiang Wuji let out a breath of relief for no apparent reason. This person's aura is impressive. It faintly intimidated him. Just right. I observe the battle between you 2 ants. He adjusted his emotions. The tone is gentle, with light clouds drifting. Jai Wudao, who had been keeping his head down, like a stone against the flow, clutching at straws, gasping for breath. He doesn't know. Zhu Elio is unaware that it is a secret order from this king. Jai Wudao relaxed his tense and rigid body. A subtle smile appeared on his face. Experience this time. He understands that his situation is too aggressive. I need to be more careful in the future. Became the focal point for hundreds of thousands of people. Wu Junji is fearless. The fighting spirit surged in his eyes. Without the blessing of the temple, even the mighty can deceive the poor. What does it even matter? Wu Chengxi clenched his fists tightly. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Little scraps. Today is your day of death. Yue Gui Feng Nian Lai. Wadao Lu Mo. The smile on her face remains dignified and noble. The faintness is all the pride of Da Kayan. Let's exchange some insights. I am pleased to see this come to fruition. Hue. The ministers were astonished. They are all very clever. It was easy to hear the lack of confidence in the diva's words. After all, a 4th-rank master, still a sorcerer of dark arts, killed by the shock like this, being slowly tortured to death, even relying on divine thoughts. But it's not shocking. That is impossible. So the Empress isn't planning to fight to the death. The reason I say this is that is the phrase contract of life and death. Zhu Liao has just finished killing someone. The might of evil cannot be resisted. What if the Wu family is defeated in battle and dies? The possibility is even smaller. The warrior clan couldn't bear this loss. The family of the illustrious Empress of the Empire. If there are no shining talents in the clan, that is extremely sad. Not signing the contract, just to leave a way out. I shall obey the Empress's command. Zhu Beiwang's expression was calm and unruffled, like a deep, mysterious pool. No one can fathom his emotions. Wu Junji couldn't wait any longer. As the words fell, he stepped forward. Patage. Wu Junji's body suddenly swelled. All over, golden light radiates. A body seemingly forged from immortal materials. Death. Countless people gasped in shock. This incredibly powerful aura, enough to make all the proud sons of heaven. To advocate for oneself is to act in disgrace. Bowed down before him, unable to look directly, truly worthy of being the hidden sea tiger of the martial family. HMPH. Fan Tian Jan Tai. Jiang Wuji fixed his gaze intensely, seemed to look down upon. Or Wu Junji roared. Lines appear on the arm, winding golden patterns. Then he clenched his fist and struck. His body. It is the most terrifying weapon. The sound of thunderous roars echoed continuously from the sky. The fist suddenly changed, as huge as a mountain moon. Golden flames were entwined above. Many warriors beat the drums, sending chills through the air. This punch struck down. I'm afraid the entire square will collapse and shatter. The crowd turned their gaze to the one in the white robe. In an instant, shock and anger surged. A Gyukin is floating. The white-robed figure appeared calm and serene. The silk strings slowly penetrated through the fingertips. The sound of Kingling's footsteps suddenly sounded. The sound of the Gyukin flows like a stream over the sword. As the gentle breeze disperses, melodiously surrounding Wenmiao Square, the white crane perches. Nio Kin Tai Ming. At the same time, the entire capital resonated with the sound of various musical instruments. The pipa and drumsticks in the arms of many girls in the audience clinked melodiously. Countless people are immersed in the immortal moon. Only the powerful can remain clear-headed. A look of disbelief. Tianji. In an instant, a massive fist shadow rushed in with a terrifying momentum. Air tremor in the swirling dust, reflecting the fierce anger burning in Wu Junji's eyes. Pill. The golden giant fist struck down. Bang. Wu Zhao's expression changed dramatically. Only the sound of the zither converges into a phantom shield. Capture Zhu Liao. The giant fist smashed down on top. Not even a trace of the patterns appeared. Wu Jun's arms suddenly became chaotic. The golden light is all in battle. He said coldly, "You can only hide in your shell. Dare to fight me face to face." As the voice faded away, the sound of the suddenly vanished. The white robe pressed down on the strings. Expression remained completely unchanged. Only replied with one word. Good. Classical Chinese. Wu Zhao was captivated by her phoenix eyes. A strong sense of foreboding, like ripples on water, quickly spread in his mind. Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the monthly ticket. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you again to the friends on QQ Reading. The score is there. Temperature 25. Second on the new book list.